So we have a very intriguing report to bring to you today about the MCU, Spider-Man, and John Cena, who posted to his Instagram this picture of Sandman, featuring none other than Spider-Man, who is about to take a devastating blow from the character. Now, this brings a lot of questions about what this potentially means for the future of Spider-Man, John Cena, and Sandman. And we're going to cover that today in this video. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture. It's Chris, and if you love to stay up to date on all major movie and television news, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We're covering it here on the channel. Also, you can check me out on Twitter for some live information. So before we get into the fun speculatory things, I want to cover two things. First off, this isn't confirmed. Sandman is not coming to the MCU as of just yet. But John Cena is very much into acting right now, as he's appeared in a lot of different movies in the last few years, and it would be amazing to see this. Number two, let's talk about how crazy it would be if it were 100% accurate and true, and John Cena is telling the world, I'm going to be Sandman in the Sinister Six. Now, Spider-Man is in a very interesting place right now in the MCU, both as a character and as a franchise. Spider-Man was recently put out to be Peter Parker, and everybody is looking for him, and he's going to have a lot of trouble becoming him in his next movie. The next issue is that of his franchise, which right now Sony and Disney are playing nice, but not too long ago they weren't, and there was a little bit of an issue as to whether or not Spider-Man would be able to continue in the MCU. Luckily for us, that's all been figured out and solved, but the possibility of the narrative that we were going to receive for Spider-Man has changed a little bit, since Sony is pushing a little bit more of their own universe now, opposed to just the MCU. We're getting Morbius, we're getting Venom 2, and Kevin Feige himself has said Spider-Man has a unique ability to jump between worlds, and he is referring to being able to go to the Sony universe as well as the MCU. So there will be a little bit of crossing of franchises there, and it'll be a very interesting take. But the one thing that everybody wants to see, myself included, is a very cool Sinister Six in the MCU or in the Sonyverse side of things. And either are possible, and we've been talking about this for a long time now as a community and as fans of Marvel, but Sandman is one of those members of the Sinister Six. And it would be just absolutely insane for John Cena to play this role. It would actually fit him pretty well, I think. This would actually be of sorts a dream cast for this role, and if Sandman could get introduced, that would open up a lot of possibilities for Spider-Man and for future Spider-Man films. But let's just take a minute to think about Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Bruce Banner, Captain America, and so many more who are casted so well and so perfectly that they've almost become the character. And that is something Marvel is continuously doing and will continue to do. And John Cena fits the description of somebody who could be this character. And throughout the comic history of this character, he isn't exclusively a bad guy. He is most well known for playing his role in the Sinister Six, which has marked him as a bit of a bad guy, but he's also had some moments where he's been a good guy, an anti-hero, or whatever you'd like to pin him as, which means he could have a prolonged history in the MCU or in the Spider-Verse on Sony's side, because he will have that continuing factor that he isn't necessarily exclusively a bad guy. So he has more than one role to play and more than one opportunity to be involved. But to see him join the Sinister Six would be absolutely insane. However, we cannot assume that this is accurate or that John Cena will ever be playing Sandman, because even on the very top of John Cena's Instagram, as we are all very well aware, it says, "Welcome to my Instagram. These images will be posted without explanation for your interpretation. Enjoy." So he posted this. He's had an interest in movies. He's been in a few different movies and seems to really enjoy the acting side of his career, which isn't doing poorly. He's a very well-known name, and a lot of people really like him. I personally would love to see him as Sandman, and he posted this on his Instagram for a reason, I hope. And maybe it's possible he just posted it because he really likes this scene from the comics, but I like to interpret this as a possibility of Sandman being played by John Cena in the future, which includes the inclusion of Sandman in the movies, either on the MCU or Sony side, and a possibility of the creation of the Sinister Six at long last. Let me know what you guys think of this post on Instagram. Do you think there's anything behind this, or do you think that he is just trolling the internet because he knows we're all going to get very excited about it? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, entertaining, whatever, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We're covering all major movie news here on the channel, and we'd love to have you as part of the conversation. If you'd love to stay up to date on all this news live, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at TheCultureChris. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching.